This is the Marketing Minute with Eric Rhodes, author of the #1 Amazon bestseller, Make More Money Selling Your Art, Proven Techniques to Turn Your Passion into Profit.
And about that book, by the way, it's out of print, and but a new version with 500 new pages and completely rewritten is coming soon. Hopefully, we'll be releasing it and having a very special release party coming up around Art Business Mastery. So more on that coming soon. You might find it on eBay or something, but you want to wait for the new one anyway, because everybody's going to want to reread it. It's got all new information. Okay, so you can send your marketing questions to me, eric@artmarketing.com, and you should know that I also do Art Marketing Mondays on my YouTube show. It's called Art School Live. Every Monday is Art Marketing Monday. Every Friday is Feedback Friday, and then we have guest artists in the middle of the week. So the first question is, Eric, your first question is from Claire in North Carolina. I've been painting landscapes and oils for 5 years now, and I sell occasionally at local art fairs. My followers on Instagram are growing slowly, but I struggle to convert them to actual collectors. I don't want to sound too salesy, but I also don't want to just post pretty pictures. What kind of content or call to action would you recommend to help turn more of my online audience into paying buyers, especially when most of my pieces are in the $300 to $500 range? Well, I will tell you this, Claire, there's a whole lot to unpack here. $300 to $500 is probably not enough money. And sometimes low price signals low quality. And you might be able to get $3,000 to $5,000. You just never know. I mean, you got to ratchet up there, but that's another pricing discussion for another time. Look, the problem we all have as artists is that we put tactics before strategy. Tactics are things like Instagram or advertising or social media in general. Strategy is, who is my audience? Who am I going after? What do they want? How do I reach them? What product are they going to buy? How much are they going to spend? What's the pricing? And so it's hard for me to answer a tactical question without knowing your strategy. And chances are you may not know your strategy. So the first thing you've got to do is ask yourself, who do I want to sell to? What age are they? Where do they live? How much money do they make? How do I reach them? Because random followers on Instagram is not necessarily a guarantee you're ever going to sell a single painting. But if you start speaking the language of the strategic person you're going after in your Instagram, then you will attract more of them. So let me give you an extreme example, but let's say that you're going after baby boomers who were born after I don't know what age the boomers are anymore, but let's say you're going after somebody who's 55 or 65 years old. Then you're going to need to be figuring out how to talk about things that appeal to them, to that demographic. You know, if you're talking about Beyonce, that's not going to appeal to them. And just like if you're talking about Elvis to a Beyonce crowd, that's not going to appeal to them. Now, I'm not suggesting you talk about music or Beyonce or anything else. What I'm talking about is trying to match the demographic that you're going after. The narrower you can be, the better off you are. I think it's beautiful to post pretty pictures, but you've got to let people know that things are for sale, because if you're just posting pictures, they're flying by at lightning speed, and you can just count on them not knowing. But if you have something that grabs their attention, and reels are a real good way to do that, video, then grab their attention and find a way to let them know in a creative way that these paintings are available for sale. That's the first thing I would do. The second thing is make sure that you're talking to the right people. The people who follow you might be following you because they like your work, but they're artists and they're not going to buy anything, or maybe they're just people who stumbled into you. Try to do your research, figure out when they joined you, what were you posting, what was your most successful post. And then just make sure that people know that your work is available for sale, and make sure you tell them how easy the process is and the step-by-step process. And you can do that because people need to be led. So that's what I would say to them. Here's the second question from Marcus Lee in Oregon. Marcus says, I'm a full-time watercolor artist and I've been running my own website for the last year. I get decent traffic from SEO, which is search engine optimization. and from Pinterest, but my email list is barely growing and I'm not sure how to keep people coming back. I've heard that offering a freebie can help with lead generation, but I'm not sure what makes sense for artists like me. Do you have an example of an effective email lead magnet or opt-in ideas that work especially well for painters? Yeah, I do. And you're right. A lead magnet is a really great thing to do on your website. What a lead magnet is basically something for free that appeals to the person you're trying to go after. So if we were talking about the previous discussion, and we were going after a certain generation, an Elvis generation, then you might do a lead magnet that says 7 Elvis paintings I created. I know that's an extreme example, but get my free ebook of paintings that I've created, or the best, my top 20 paintings ever created, or my favorite 20, or something like that. You get it for free, and then you get their email address. Now you can get them on your newsletter. You want to make sure it's clear that they're opting in for that. And that's a good thing to do. And make sure that it's very visible on your website so everybody knows to do it. It says free ebook, my 20 favorite paintings ever. Or just come up with something creative that people want. Do the ebook, put some new content in there, make sure people know it's for sale. All right, that's what I would do. Okay, remember I'm doing Marketing Mondays at noon Eastern on Art School Live. Just go to YouTube, subscribe to Art School Live, or look up my name, Eric Rhodes, and then you'll be able to get Marketing Mondays. Okay, that is it for the Art Marketing Minute.